like Michael Chandler was saying, and I like that line. I want to have some fun and let it all out, man.
And I'll see you at the top.
See you at the top. There you go.
Hello, Tony friends from MMA Pit. Here we are speaking with one of Bellator's top fighters. We're speaking with the gentleman, Josh Hill. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
We're doing good. To start the interview, we'd like to say that on your record, we can find a win over one of the world's best 135-pound fighter, like Eric Goyito Perez. He had a 7-2 run on the UFC, and at some point, he was the face of the Mexican market in there. So,
Mhm.
would you say that that was the biggest fight of your career?
Definitely up there. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I knew who Eric was for a long time, and watching him in the UFC, and yeah, so he was a big name, and yeah, that was a huge win for me for sure. Definitely one of my top ones, and I knew Eric would be a tough fight, and it was a tough fight, but I felt yeah, it was one of those ones where everything was clicking, and yeah, it was a good one, but yeah, it was a huge win for me.
Immediately after Eric Perez, you fought against the current interim champion Rufian Stutz and couldn't get the nod against him. But some could say you learned more in defeat than in victory. So, what could you learn from 15 minutes with Rufian?
Yeah, I mean, I Stotts is good, man. He's a good fighter. I thought, going into the fight stylistically, I thought we were very similar. I mean, guys that, like to strike, you have good wrestling, very athletic, underrated jiu-jitsu. So I thought either that could be a clash for and make a really explosive, exciting fight, or it could kind of be like a bit of a stalemate a little bit, and I think it was more of the latter. I think neither of us was really pulling the trigger enough. And it was a fight where things just kind of weren't clicking. Things weren't working. I think it was just I had a shitty night, and Stotts is good too, right? So it's tough to just when you have a bad day and you get somebody that's really good. It doesn't usually turn out well. But it's a fight that I lost the decision, and it had a poor performance. Definitely not my best work, but yeah, it just whatever, man, is what it is. I had to put it behind me and get back in the win column.
And you were scheduled to fight Enrique Barzola on April and Mateus Matos for this event, but both fights couldn't see the light. And here we are finally with Marcos Breno. And how did you feel all this time with multiple attempts to fight?
Well, the one that hurt the most was in April when I was supposed to fight for the in the Grand Prix to get into the Grand Prix, but it was in Hawaii, and I had COVID, and it lasted about 4 weeks. I felt brutal, so it was just bad timing. Happened right before the fight, so I was really really bent that I couldn't fight in that one. I couldn't fight Barzola there, and then this one with Matos, he got injured, and that's very common. So the opponent change wasn't a big deal for me. I think stylistically they're similar too, so it wasn't like a drastic change.
Marcos Breno is 14-2 and coming off a quick 56-second victory in LFA. And like you, he couldn't fight for Bellator earlier this year.
Mm.
And what do you know about him and what do you expect from him?
I expect him to be aggressive, and I expect him to come at me and try to make a statement. It's his first fight. He's gonna want to use my name, use my ranking, use all that to kind of propel himself. I think he's good. I think he's well rounded. I think more so one of those guys that he has good jiu-jitsu for sure, and but likes to strike more so. But yeah, I think I match up well with him. I'll be the more experienced guy. I think I have the better fight IQ. I think I'll be faster and stronger. And I think I have better wrestling than him for sure. So yeah, I think it's a good matchup, but I expect him to come out guns blazing for sure and try to make a statement.
And you took on an experienced fighter out of the rankings, and not only out of the rankings, but out of the promotions. He hasn't fought for Bellator yet. So, what are your thoughts on fighting somebody like him on short notice?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I asked for somebody ranked higher than me. I wanted somebody in the top 10 anyway. And that just due to the Grand Prix that's going on, and people not being available or already booked, they just said this, they don't have any matchups for me. I'd have to wait till like the fall, to get a match, and I just didn't want to sit out. I already missed my opportunity in April to fight. So I just didn't want to be on the shelf for too long. I'm 35 now. I'm not, if I was 25, I wouldn't care. I'd wait, a little bit longer, but I want to be active and get as many fights as I can. I'd like to get 2 this year for sure. So yeah, I just want to be active, man, and not sitting around and letting time go by.
You were set to fight a ranked fighter before, and we couldn't get there. So, would you expect for your next fight a ranked opponent, or do you have some name in your mind?
Yeah, most likely. I mean, who else would they give me again? I mean, there's always guys, to be honest, like, so possibly, but I would assume, if I win this fight, then yeah, I would be fighting somebody, ahead of me in the rankings, somebody like that. I don't know who it would be. Depends on how the Grand Prix shakes out too, and who wins and who loses. But yeah, there's the bantamweight division in Bellator, and I mean, in all MMA is so stacked, right? So like, that's why I think they should even have a top 15, because there's so many good guys in the division. So yeah, no matter what, you're fighting good guys anyway. So does it really matter? No.
Obviously, you are a very young prospect. You are a great fighter in a very deep division like Bellator's division. So, do you want to say something for the people who already support you and the oncoming fans?
I say thank you to anybody that supports me. Thank you, and I appreciate it. For those that doubt me too, I love proving people wrong, right? And I feel like throughout my career, I've always kind of been like that dark horse underdog type person that kind of flies under the radar. But yeah, for whoever supports me, man, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and expect some fireworks when I fight, because like I said, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time, like Michael Chandler was saying, and I like that line. And I want to have some fun and just let it all out, man.
And I'll see you at the top.
See you at the top. There you go.
But yes, it was a pleasure having you. We'll be watching your fight at Bellator 284. Just the Gentleman Hill. We wish you the best.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.